Thank you again to Patreon backers, Corey Needs Sleep, and Fit in Majora. Thank you again, guys. I've been playing through Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and nearly have, I want to say, 30 hours put into the game. And it's such a great game. While browsing through the YouTube, I found this guy. You probably don't know him. He's a bit of an indie channel named Alfreyrad? I don't know. And in one of his videos, he basically said he could kick Shulk's ass because Monado 1 can't harm him, since it can't harm humans.
What's up?
Shulk kills us, by the way.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, no. Here's the thing. Shulk's weapon, canonically, cannot damage humans.
All right, no, we beat him.
But he is also technically a god. So I don't know if he's allowed to change those rules as time goes on.
Broken. Wield the sword. It bends to your will. Think of your enemy, and the power to defeat them is yours.
Let's assume that he can't, because I really want to say that we would beat up Shulk. I really want to give that to us.
There's some technicalities here. Shulk's probably in the biggest gray area of anyone here, but I think we still lose.
Which, before we even start this video, Alpha, I don't know if you were a joker or not, but the Monado cannot harm Hams, aka the people of Bionis. Not humans. Humans are actually a completely different thing in Xenoblade that are in a completely different planet. The entire reason the Monado 1 can't even harm Hams is because they share the blood of the Bionis. Again, don't know if he was joking because satire and all, but wanted to get that out of the way. Anyways, while I thought about that video, it did make me start to wonder, just how strong is this feeling it boy? Well, if I was explained from the start of the game to the end of the game, we'd be here all day. So instead, I'll be splitting this up into 3 parts. Part 1 will be from beginning of the game to end of Prison Island. Part 2 will be from end of Prison Island to end of Memory Space. And Part 3 is basically just end the game. Oh, also obviously there will be spoilers for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Huge shocker, I know. As usual, before we can get into the character stats, we need to understand them and their entire personality. And Shulk is one of the more interesting characters on the show. Well, interesting in terms of how he is as a fighter, not interesting in terms of covering a character like this, since we've also covered a literal talking egg and a Jedi Knight. See, Cal and Flumpty are naturally more prone to fighting enemies by themselves, with Cal getting help every once in a while. And yes, I am ignoring BD1, since he's more of a health stim and hacker type than straight up extra party member, while Shulk is a far more fragile character than others. And this isn't some game mechanic trope of the common mage or anything like that. This is actually a part of the story.
You know your way around there, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll go with you.
Yeah, knew you would.
Hold on. The Magnal ruins are in Tephra Cave, right? I heard that there's a Mel lizard nest there. I couldn't take it if anything happened to Shulk. He's delicate. Not like you, Ryan.
What are you on about?
I'll be fine. I can take care of myself.
But...
Okay, I got it. I'll make you a promise. Shulk won't even get a scratch.
a promise doesn't mean much coming from you.
Which makes sense since Shulk is a guy that rarely goes out and spends most of the time in his workshop, always studying the Monado and various weapons to get a greater understanding of them. Of course, Shulk's colony gets attacked by Mechon, he loses a childhood friend and love interest Fiora, and is now on an adventure to get revenge on the Mechon that killed her. Oh, and he's found out to be someone that can wield a Monado without being possessed and stuff. He realizes on the journey that he has no real way of harming Metalface, the Mechon that killed Fiora, and then receives a vision that he will find a way to enhance Monado at a place called Prison Island. That's where we end part 1 of this tale. So as you can see, the beginning of the game, Shulk is on a revenge plot with his buddy Ryan and later party members Sharla, Dunban, Melia, and Rick. Wow, that's nearly the whole party. Guess it's more of a beginning to near end game? Don't know. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, we need to get into how strong Shulk actually is. So like I mentioned earlier, Shulk is canonically more fragile than the rest of the party. This is indeed the case, but that doesn't count him out of strength. Even without military training regimen, Shulk is capable of fighting and harming wild animals and swimming with one hand while carrying his sword in the other. Fun fact, that'd be heavy as crap and nigh impossible to swim with one hand, yet he can still do it. He can also climb up areas while carrying this heavy equipment and run around with no problem. So he's definitely physically fit despite being a shut-in, though that's obviously not the peak of his strength, since that's just the beginning of the game, despite the fact that he can survive hits from Metalface and Zord, who have also fought Telefia, the same beings who were able to momentarily harm Metalface. Mind you, Metalface pulled stuff like destroying an entire artillery base here.
You slackers, fire! Shoot it down!
Shulk is damn strong. He's also pretty quick. Yep, we're getting into this. I realized in my 2 previous Statting Central videos, I never really talked about the character's speed, as far as I can think at least. So let's get into that, shall we? Shulk has some pretty good reactions, being able to dodge lasers from Mechon and being able to cover large distances in a short amount of time. He also gets quicker with his various quick step ability up gems. Now that I'm talking about gems, I guess it's time to do his various abilities and equips, since he's technically the first RPG character we're dealing with in this series. Anyways, on to abilities. What's funny enough is, by the end of Prison Island, Shulk is only missing really 3 abilities that he gets story-wise. Actually, before we get into abilities, I guess I should give a brief description on what ether is. It's basically the very thing that allows all living beings to, well, live. It's a building block of the universe and a source of energy that can be used to pull stuff like fully erasing people, as shown with the Leftia killing 2 of Melia's close guards.
Landing.
Generation of wolf. So yeah, it's basically one of those. Like, think of Ki, except somewhat more powerful, I guess. I don't really know energy sources that well. Anywho, Shulk has Turn Strike, an ability that inflicts Break, which is a status effect that can make someone able to topple an enemy. Slit Edge, an attack that, when done from the side, reduces physical damage. Backslash, which does double damage from you guess where. Light Heal, which restores some of Shulk's health by him gathering the ether in the air. Sacred Edge, which inflicts daze on a toppled enemy. Air Slash, which breaks the enemy's stance and inflicts break and slow if hit from the side. Shadow Eye, which reduces aggro and increases physical arts damage. Ether Art, which sacrifices health to fill the talent gauge. And Stream Edge, which allows him to attack multiple enemies at once. Mind you, this is all of his non-Monado abilities. Monado abilities include Buster, which is a full power of the Monados to attack all enemies online. Enchant, which boosts the damage and allows people to pierce Mechon armor. Shield, which does not shield you from attacks. I know that's what you would think from the cutscene and everything, and the name itself, and I thought that while going through it for majority of the game too, it actually deflects an enemy town art that's of the same level of the Monado shield level. So yeah, the more you know. Thank you for not telling me that during a huge portion of the challenge quests game. Anyways, speed, which allows Shulk to move faster and evade attacks more. Purge, which dulls perceptions, seals auras, and removes spikes effects, which is what allowed Shulk to beat the mind reading Teleftia. Of course, if we're going by abilities, we can't ignore Shulk's most important ability with Monado, the ability to see the future, which Shulk calls Vision.
Look at you, worthless without the Monado.
Until I've scrapped each and every one of you!
So, of course, I want to get my revenge.
Your blade, it did not cut deep enough.
No!
Shulk! Shulk!
What on Bionis happened there?
Ryan. Fiora.
Are you okay? Does it hurt?
No. Ryan, when you held the Monado, did you see anything?
You know, like a blue blade made of light came out. Same as just now.
I don't mean that. A feeling like time had stopped, and then...
Time had stopped.
So, was it only me who saw that?
That sounds strange. Is it another Monado thing?
This works in various ways. He can foresee devastating attacks in the midst of battle, foresee his or other people's deaths at later points in life, or even foresee stuff like how an item will be beneficial to him for a future quest. However, this does not make him all-knowing, as the visions might at times give him very vague showings of the area and people he's never met before without much information other than the essentials. Quite honestly, I think Shulk has one of the most creative usages of precognition I've seen in fiction. A perfect balance of being a really helpful ability without being too overpowered. Though knowing how this is a JRPG, that might change at endgame, so you know. Mini rant here, One of my main problems with people that have precognitive abilities is always like, oh, it's during a dream, or I had this prophecy during a dream, like a bad dream here, so I foresee dark clouds, something like that. Like always something so vague like that. I like how Shulk basically has had like a straight up, like, I can see an event that's going to happen, but I don't get the full consequence of it because A, I'm not an omniscient person, so all I understand is an event's going to happen in a place that looks like that with these people. So yeah, that's basically all I like. Anyways, I would go further into Monado itself, as it has far more various abilities on its own, but they're further elaborated and actually used by Shulk past the prison island, so I'll leave those for now. Shulk is interesting because the normal reactions I see about him is that he's a weakling prior to getting to Monado due to his shut-inness, skinny physique, even though he actually has a pack under there, guys. If you remove some of his stuff, you can actually see he has a pack there. However, as you can see, Shulk is actually pretty damn strong. Far stronger than people give him credit for, I'd say. Though I'm interested now, with how I found Shulk this early in the game and how he has a few abilities left, how much stronger can he really get later on? Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Tell me in the comments below if Shulk was way stronger than you imagine, or if he was just how you expected, or if he was weaker somehow. Oh, and if you like this video, tag that like button, tag that subscribe button, support me on Patreon, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I am Dat, and I have given you my attack. See ya!